Denver Broncos at the Chicago Bears. Yikes. 0-3 versus 0-3. What you got here? The Broncos. So here's the state of the situation. The Broncos are coming off of a game where they gave up 70.
They did.
Going on the road.
It's a lot of points.
Gave up 70, lost by 50. They're going on the road, and they're favored by 3.5.
That's how bad things are in Chicago, yeah.
Yeah. Just some perspective there.
Uh-huh.
There's also some propaganda going around.
Yeah?
That Russell Wilson has the same stats this year, roughly, as Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. I saw that.
Yeah. It's like...
I don't know why. Like, what's the point in that?
Like, you literally watch the games, and you know that one of Russell Wilson's touchdowns was a Hail Mary heave.
But presumably
and you know that Patrick Mahomes had a perfect pass dropped for a pick six. Like, if you just change 2 plays in 3 weeks, just change 2 plays in that tweet is no longer valid.
And changing them to, like, the usual outcome.
Yeah, change them to the expected outcome. Like, the Hail Mary should fall incomplete, and the catch should actually be caught and not a pick six. So, anyway, and plus there's advanced stats that say that's ridiculous. All that said, Russ is playing better.
Yeah.
And that's going, like, a little under the radar. Like, he played pretty well last week. I mean, it was all garbage time.
No,
but he's making some better throws.
Yeah. That offense looked much better last week than it's looked for a while, and that was with the game, getting away from them quickly and only ever heading in one direction in terms of getting away from them. Like, Russ was, so yeah, the numbers will be padded in terms of volume and inflated that way, but actually he was playing better than he's played before and doing his best to keep pace with the Miami offense, which just never let up and scored a touchdown basically every time they got the ball. Russ couldn't do that, and therefore the game got away from them, and they got hosed by 50. But the fact they put up 20 in the first place is, significant. Yeah, I mean, I do think that offense is okay. I think the defense is now under all kinds of pressure.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
That was embarrassing, like genuinely embarrassing for a defense that's supposed to be good. I mean, that has talent. That group was very good a year ago. It's now under new stewardship, and it got a 70 burger hung on them. And remember, maybe the most insulting part of that is they voluntarily chose not to take the record. It's like, nah, actually, we're just gonna run the ball and turn it over on downs and leave it, with everybody here knowing that it should have been the NFL record in terms of points given up, but wasn't, because we're benevolent like that. We're not going to stick the knife in one last time.
They should not be that bad.
No.
They should not be that bad.
I mean, it's difficult to be that bad. Okay, Miami's offense is amazing. We gave them all the flowers at the start. But that was an embarrassing performance by this Denver defense, and it has to be trying to make a point this week against what is a wretched Chicago offense.
Yeah, so I don't expect the Broncos defense to be that bad.
No.
You've got to play the Chiefs twice in the next few weeks, and I don't think they'll be as bad as they were against Miami. But at some point, it did look like Miami deserves all the credit, and it also looked like Denver was just terrible. I never say teams quit, but I mean, there were some plays where they just nothing was good. Like, nobody was good on certain plays. The picture of 5 people falling over and all how many missed tackles were there in that game?
24.
24 missed tackles by the Broncos, and gap control. Like, everything was bad. So I don't expect that level of extreme. They're professionals. You would think there'll just be some sense of pride where they'll play better this week.
Quit is a word that triggers people a lot, but I think it's reasonable to say that there was a point in that game quite early on where they just wanted off the field.
Yeah.
They wanted out of that game and didn't want to show back up, and that didn't help matters in terms of points being put on the board.
I don't want to look, we're up against it time-wise, but I don't want to shorten any Bears analysis, but I would suggest for Fields analysis in particular, go to yesterday's show. I don't think we're going to add more. I don't want to rehash everything.
No. So
Justin Fields analysis, go to yesterday's show. We talked with JT O'Sullivan, our opinions, his opinions. There's a lot of good stuff in there.
One point we've collectively made over the last week or so is that Chicago's offense has done a very bad job of calling those designed runs for Justin Fields and, playing into his strengths, right? Against Kansas City, they did that more. They called several designed runs at the start of the game, but as the late Austin Gale pointed out on Twitter,
rest in peace.
I was talking to him last night from Beyond the Grave, was talking to him last night and telling him you should go watch the tape. And he pointed out that on those design runs, like they're just basic read options, right? And they're so basic that Kansas City essentially just dictated give every play, right? If you're going to run a basic zone read, we're just going to keep the guy that's being optioned. He's just going to play quarterback and make you hand it off right up the middle.
They're playing give and they're playing the boot.
Right, because
both are dangerous.
But that's the least dangerous thing that can happen is you handing the ball off up the middle on an inside zone play, right? So even when they're going back to this, well, let's try and give design carries for Justin Fields. Like they're doing it on such a basic level that the defense is not even vaguely stressed. They're just like, go nuts. Hand the ball off to the running back up the middle. So bottom line is the same for Chicago's offense. Everything stinks. It's bad across the board. Name a factor that plays into the success. It's bad. And now it's going up against a Denver defense that surely is going to be motivated to show that they are not the embarrassment that they were last week.
Just going back to the Russ statistical analysis as well, it is pretty much all Marvin Mims, right? If you just take out Marvin Mims and throws to him, Russ is the same guy as last year. And we're not even having this conversation. 7 catches, 195 yards, 7.2 yards per route run, plus a kickoff return for a touchdown. Marvin Mims, 27 receiving snaps this season. So get him back out there, Broncos. I think Russ will have time to throw against this Bears poor pass rush, second worst in the league. So I like Denver.